When President William Samoei Ruto ascended to power, he took a new paradigm shift from Uhuru policies. And in trying to implement them, he has really faced major opposition. Most of those projects have ended up in court, and in fact, it took the intervention of the courts to clear and give William Ruto a clean bill of health. People went to court to try and stop the housing levy. They tried stopping the transition from NHIF to SHA, the Finance Bill 2023, Finance Bill 2024. Most of these projects, the lifting of the ban on GMO, almost everything that William Ruto wanted went to court, including taking our policemen to Haiti, but the court cleared almost all of them. One such project that William Ruto held close to his heart was the change of the NHIF to SHA. And many of those projects, if you look at them, they are bathed in suspicion. Many people just feel that they cannot trust William Ruto on anything. William Ruto is also being accused that most of these projects were done, or there was a transition without involving people in a public participation as is required in the constitution. And again, many feel that there are few people who want to enrich their pockets as a result of these projects. For example, like Adani is taking over our airport with a very huge amount of money that is involved for 30 years, then we are told they are still going to collect money for, for eternity after the deal. So many people feel that the involvement of Adani in our energy, even with our shift, is something that is going to benefit some people, because it is on record that even the G2G oil deal that scooped a lot of money really enriched a few people at the expense of the Kenyan taxpayers' money. Now, one such project, as I've said earlier, was the change of our health services from SHIF to SHA. Now, many people have really criticized the process of shifting the transition, and they're saying that it is shambolic, it is not working. And these are some of the sentiments of the people.
There was something called NHIF. To change that N and make it S, we spent 104 billion just to remove the N and make it an S. From NHIF to SHIF, we spent 104 billion.
Is that a statement of facts?
It's not.
It is. They said they are changing the system.
It's not a statement.
Have you ever heard of a system that cost 104 billion? Because the only thing for us Kenyans, what we see has changed, is that logo, S, and then it was an N. And that is why we are telling you, this S that has cost us 104 billion, that money is enough. That is what Ketraco was being given, 97 billion. That's what Ketraco needed from Adani. So literally we should have taken that money and given to Ketraco instead of getting Adani's 97 billion. All I'm trying to tell you...
Obviously, you know that is a populist statement when you say that a change of logos cost billions.
Let me ask you. We were told, and you know that 104 billion was spent to procure a new system to run our health system.
Not true.
What do you mean it's not true?
Now amekuwa akilipa NHIF for the last like 40 years of his life. Na ninakwambia sasa hii NHIF imsaidii. Na juzi tulienda Kenyatta tukaambiwa aje daktari mwenye anafaa msaidia ako wapi? India. So lazima tuongoje atoke India for 2 weeks ndio aweze kufanya nini, aweze kumtibu ama kumfanyia surgery and all that. It's a very fucked up system. Juu kwanza sisi hatuku agree history ya NHIF. Hakuna mtu aliagree hiyo story. Hii kitu ya SHA ilikuwa forced on us. Nilienda Kenyatta nikapata patients wa dialysis. Oh my god, people are dying in Kenyatta juu hiyo dialysis. Juu hakuna sasa SHA ikulipi. Sasa enda kwa ile hospitali yenye unakwanga umeweka siku unakwanga na inpatient na outpatient. Ile hospitali yenye umeweka inpatient sasa kama ni private, I function.
From experts to locals to laymen, people feel that this thing is not working because practically they have gone to the hospitals and they've been turned back. They have seen how NHIF was working and the way this is now working, and they feel the change is not good for them. They claim many people are dying. Some patients are dying in hospital because the transition has not been managed well. But William Ruto continues to defend his projects, and he says it is the best thing that ever occurred to us, and he encourages people to register.
Jambo la pili, katika kujisajili tutajua kama serikali kama wewe uko na uwezo ya kulipa ama hauna uwezo ya kulipa. Na kama hauna uwezo wa kulipa, sisi kama serikali tutakulipia wewe. Mnanisikia? Hapo nyuma mtu ambaye yako na uwezo peke yake ndiye analipa. Wewe ambaye huna uwezo unabaki msituni, unangojea harambee. So tumesema hata wewe mwenye ambaye huna uwezo, kama uwezo wako ni kidogo hivi, unalipa kidogo hivyo. Kama uwezo yako ni zero, tunakulipia. Kama wewe ni kama mimi niko na mshahara, tunajilipia wenyewe. Hawa wadosi wote hawa, unasikia hawa wabunge hawa. Usikubali mbunge akuja kudanganye ati usijisajili. Sisi hapa tuko na bima ya milioni 10 akiwa mgonjwa. Na inaweza kuongezeka mpaka milioni 40. Wewe uko na bima ya pesa ngapi? Sasa wewe uko na bima ya zero na hutaki kujisajili ndio tukusaidie, unapiga kelele. Mimi nasikia hata mtu mwingine hapo tukisema maneno ya mama yako na mimba aende anapiga kelele na hana mimba. Sasa wewe unapiga na hata wengine mwanaume ndiye anapiga kelele. Wewe sasa mwanaume unapiga kelele na utapata mimba siku gani? Bure kabisa. Sijui kama tunaelewana jameni. Tuko pamoja? Sikizeni vizuri, kwa sababu unajua wale wanapinga hii maneno ni wale watu tumewaambia nyinyi mko na pesa mingi, lipeni kidogo ndio tusaidie wale wako chini. Sisi tulisema bottom up. Sasa mnafikiri bottom up itaendelea namna gani? Si wale wako na uwezo wachangie wale wako chini wainuke. Acheni mchezo nani? Hapana. Sijui kama tunaelewana. So,
despite William Ruto's insistence that this is the best thing that ever occurred to us, there is trouble with the health service. In less than 2 months, 2 senior officers have now been forced to leave. The first one was the former chair of the chief, Dr. Timothy Olweny, who was shown the door. Now we are also being told that there is another senior officer who has been told to go, or has been forced to go on personal leave. This is the CEO, I don't know whether to call him now the former CEO, Elijah Wachira, has been suspended after the board of directors sat down in a meeting and they passed a resolution that the CEO, Elijah Wachira, must proceed on compulsory leave pending investigation into certain allegations, and in his place, in an acting capacity, they have given it to Robert Ingarisa. Now, what are some of the accusations that the board were leveling against Wachira? They are saying that during his tenure, he has left chief with pending bills that were forcing hospitals to turn back patients or to help to force them to pay cash. Chief was not able to pay hospitals. I don't know whether it is the one who was responsible for this, but the fact is, this thing was not working, because when you go to the hospitals, they were telling you, atukubali tunataka cash. They're also saying that Elijah prioritized payment to private hospitals at the expense of public hospitals. These have been outcries, and as usual, maybe he was getting something, maybe he was cutting deals. That is what many people think, but he was being accused of prioritizing payment to private hospitals for the services that have been rendered by chief. And they're also saying that he diverted money to the tune of 1.6 billion shillings that was meant to earmark the offsetting of debts in chief. And so they are telling him to proceed on compulsory leave pending investigation. Now, after the board sat down, they gave this memo or letter to Mr. Wachira, and they told him, Mr. E.G. Wachira, PO Box that Nairobi, compulsory leave, and they told him the above matter refers This is to inform you of the resolution of the board to send you on compulsory leave, effective immediately for a period of 90 days to allow for further investigations into your professional conduct and performance as acting Chief Executive Officer of Social Health Authority. While on leave, you shall be entitled to all your current remuneration and benefits. The board has further appointed Mr. Robert Ingasira as AG Chief Executive Officer while you're on leave. Therefore, please hand over the office to him immediately. Dr. Abdi Mohammed, the chairperson, signed that letter. So, ladies and gentlemen, he proceeds on compulsory leave, and let me tell you, it's not likely that he's going to come back. When you are first on compulsory leave, it's not easy that you come back. Now, this is now in less than a month. The employees of Rigathi Gachagua were forced on compulsory leave. Now, the CEO of NHIF is being forced on compulsory leave. If it is true, all these allegations, then he needs to go. And I'm being careful with my words. If it is true, all these things that is being accused of, can you imagine you are deducted money by your employer to pay for this NHIF or NHIF or SHA, and then when you go to the hospital, you are told, we don't allow that. And your money has been deducted, and you know that this is my insurance card. When I get there, I need to get treatment for free. And indeed, there were accumulated bills. When you ask the hospital, they tell you, atulipwi, so atuwezi kubali any more debt. And then I'm shocked that we are told that he was even prioritizing payment to private hospitals. At the expense of public hospitals, and he diverted over 1.6 billion shillings that was earmarked to start offsetting the debts. Now, why has William Ruto decided to do this? One, he wants to restore confidence, because this thing has been rejected. Basically, it has been rejected by doctors, rejected by CEOs, rejected by experts, rejected by locals. They just feel that it is enshrined in obscurity, lies, dishonesty, and they feel, no, we don't want it. So William Ruto is doing this to restore confidence. And if it is true, all these accusations, then he needs to clean. He wants to clean the mess, and then they bring this one person that will start offsetting the debts, and of course will try to ensure that he prioritizes both the private hospitals and public hospitals, because it seems Mr. Elijah was in cahoot with the private hospitals to deprive the common mwananchi what is rightfully theirs. So listen, I don't know whether this will persuade the public. I don't know whether this will help William Ruto to restore confidence, because what people are looking at is not just sacking or suspending. People want to see the real, service working. The whole of the healthcare system must work, so that even as you try to explain that NHIF is the best thing, you need to take care of the welfare of the doctors. Even if NHIF is working, but the doctors are still left out, the remuneration is not up to date, they still go on strike, then nothing will work. They need to take care of the doctors. We need to have facilities in our hospitals so that NHIF is working, doctors are at their best, their facilities. People are still asking their done involvement in this. We hope for the best. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to end by asking you, do you think this will restore your confidence? As for me, I believe until you go back to the hospital and you are now told, yes, we can treat you with using this card, you will not pay anything. They're saying that it will include chronic diseases. If that is true, then it will be good. For now, William Ruto must accept that there are teething problems, or they are more than teething, they are problems. They need to work on them rather than trying to defend it. Sometimes even if something is good, do not defend. When you are told that it has got challenges, please look into them. Get experts to look into the very, very nitty-gritties, it can help. Maybe it is a good thing, but it is being forced down on people with the, I guess, call it expulsion, because once he has been suspended, he will not come back, if you ask me.